So scoping for a managed service, and this is where my experience comes in, is all about understanding gaps, capabilities and requirements from a customer perspective. As I say, every customer is different. We don't treat any one customer the same when it comes to that initial scoping exercise. We have a notion called a cloud operating model that we've defined ourselves. As part of the cloud operating model, we'll do an initial assessment to engage, to understand with the customer where some of those gaps may lie within their existing capability. So the cloud operating model is 5 pillars effectively. It thinks about strategy and governance, so what the environment is that needs managing, how's it been built today, is it something that Cloud Direct has built? Then if it is, then obviously we know a lot about it. We will also talk to customers where Cloud Direct hasn't built their environment, but they're looking for an MSP from a managed service perspective. And in those, we'll perform a discovery, a health check, make sure the environment is fit for purpose. We'll work with the customer to understand that it is fit for purpose and something that we can take into support. So strategy and governance is really important as the first pillar of the cloud operating model, because it focuses purely on the environment, how new environments are consumed, built, configured in advance. After that, the second pillar we look at is a customer's capability to perform change and service transition. So especially in the cloud world, you can spin up new environments day and night. The important thing is that you're spinning those environments up in the proper, consistent, configured way that you had thought about as part of strategy and governance. So if you think about the journey, you know what the build standard needs to look like, or the policy standards, depending on what the technology is. Once you've applied those, you're then going through a transition in governance to make sure that you're effectively checking that homework correctly. So we're particularly interested to know that an organization has thought about the next thing that's going into the cloud and how that's going to form part of the cloud operating model. After that piece is the technology and management of the environment. So the third pillar is all about, there is a wealth of tools, capabilities, etc. for managing the environment. So monitoring the environment for inconsistency, health, performance, those types of things. The fourth pillar is about 24/7. We spoke about it before. The demands nowadays on businesses and organizations from their user community or their customer community is all about 24/7 availability. So we will, as part of our cloud operating model assessment, understand the customer's capability there. Often managed services leads to that sort of that gap in capability as being a primary issue. The fifth pillar that we'll look at is the relationship to the environment. So you've got your technical environment initially from a strategy and governance perspective, but who's looking after that longer term? Who thinks and wakes up once a month and says, right, let's do a consumption review, let's do a security review on that environment. So you've got the 5 pillars, and then each of those pillars has a number of components, and it's when you get to that component layer that a customer will go, oh yeah, I didn't think about that, or actually I've got big challenges in that area. That's probably why, because I didn't realize how important that is to the overall cloud operating model. And that's the sort of thing that we're looking for, to start that relationship, to start that engagement. And then we know that when we come to talk about what the service needs to deliver, we've got that baseline understanding. Wherever you are in your journey, you're looking to come into the cloud, you are in the cloud, you've got an existing MSP, but you're not quite feeling the value, we can come in at any of those stages and assist with regards to a cloud operating model assessment. It's well defined. You'll get a session where we talk about the different components of the cloud operating model. We'll talk them through. We'll identify what your strengths, maybe some more of the areas where you need more assistance in terms of where you're at today. And then we'll come back and play that back in terms of our findings and what potentially the value of a managed service would be for that customer. As I say, every customer is different, every sector is different. We're finding more now that it's not just about service levels, it's also about user experience. And when I talk about user experience, I mean customers who are consuming your IT environments or day-to-day business users within departments that have a need to perform their day duty across these environments, user experience is really big at the moment.